we have next up is a cooking demonstration presented by Lori Kelch, who is a nutrition educator. She speaks in the community and is a teacher at the Institute of Holistic Leadership. She has done many seminars for us. We had, she did some tours here at Dorothy Lane Market, very knowledgeable. And today she is going to show us how to make salads in a jar. And on a side, she's going to also do a protein shake for us. So we'd like to introduce Lori Kelch.
Hey, everybody. We're here today and we're going to be preparing salads in a jar. This doesn't really involve cooking. It does involve a lot of preparation. And I just want to give a shout out to Peggy Neary and the folks here in the Culinary Center that helped me out with this. I don't have expert knife skills, so this would have taken me some time. But let's get into this because we've got 3 different salads we're going to do today. We're going to talk a little bit about the nutritional value of them. We're going to go ahead and put them together and talk about each of the ingredients. And these are the jars we're going to be using. And these are your ball jars. These are 32-ounce jars. And I found when I made these, in fact, I made the Southwest salad last night, and my husband and I split it for dinner. And what I found is that I made 2 jars full, but 1 jar for us was great for side salads, and 1 jar for an individual would be great for a much larger full meal salad. So kind of keep that in mind when you do this. You can make these salads ahead of time, and that's what's so great about them, is that especially if you've got a busy schedule, if you're going to work, if you need to make yourself some lunches, you can spend a day or just a few hours, a couple hours, depending upon your knife skills, preparing the ingredients. And if you set them up as we have here in the recipe, which is also available on our website, you'll be able to see that you can make a variety of them with some similar ingredients, and they will store in your refrigerator up to 5 days. So you can make a few ahead of time, you can grab them. Now there are a few ingredients that you don't really want to add in the jar that we can add, you can add afterwards, and we'll talk about those too. So the first one we're going to start with today is going to be the baby spinach salad with the citrus dressing. And as I went through and looked at some of the different recipes that were available online, I really like this one. I love the idea of putting the olive oil, the lemon juice, and the orange juice together. So you're getting sort of a nice flavor of the citrus with a little bit of tartness and a little bit of sweetness. So here's our salad dressing. And this, it's important that I want to highlight this. This is made with Vera Jane's extra virgin olive oil, which is my favorite. It comes from an estate in Italy, the Zanetti estate. And it's, you know, there's so much care and family love that goes in to these olives, and it is like no other olive oil I've ever used. And I've tried some other ones, but I always come back to Vera Jane's because it's my very favorite. So we've got Vera Jane's olive oil in here. We have the lemon juice and orange juice, a tablespoon of each. We have a little Dijon mustard, and excuse me, half a teaspoon of minced garlic in here, and also, excuse me, a dash of salt and pepper. So what we're going to do when we build these jars, what you want to remember is always to put the dressing at the bottom, because of course when you dump it out, ideally into a larger bowl, you know, we want the dressing to be on top and to be able to coat the ingredients. If you, well, we'll talk about this as we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and depending upon how much dressing you like on your salads, normally would really determine how much dressing you're going to use. So if you wanted to, you could use the whole amount. I'm just going to put a couple tablespoons in here because I don't like to smother my salads too much. So I'm going to just be pouring a little bit in here. Oops. Put that over there. Okay, so we've got, we're coating the bottom of the jar, so we've got a nice amount of dressing in there. this aside. And then you want to start with the ingredients that will basically that can marinate in the salad dressing. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to put ingredients in first that are going to end up getting soggy and so forth. So what we're going to start with is we've got the dressing in there, and we've got some chopped cucumber that we're going to add. You know, cucumber is, I think many of these ingredients we kind of take for granted when we put them in a salad because they are salad ingredients. This is typically how we use them. But I think it's important to understand that all of these salads, all of the ingredients in the salads that we're going to be doing here contain a lot of really valuable nutrients, and they can supply a variety of nutrients that can bring this kind of together as a whole meal. So when we're looking at cucumbers, you're looking at, this is a real hydration type of produce. This can actually add a nice amount of water, you know, to your diet. So plus it's got some vitamins and minerals in it. One of the things about cucumbers is that it can help with things like swelling and some inflammation. And this is one of the reasons why often you'll see pictures of women at a spa or men at a spa, and they've got cucumber slices on their eyes because it can take down that puffiness because of the hydration quality in there. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to use my fingers here. I'm a hands-on cook at home. I cook almost every night, 99.9% of the time. I cook, we eat out very little. We live out in the country, so it's kind of hard for us to, it takes a long time to go out to dinner, so forth. But when I have what I can get at Dorothy Lane, I don't mind the preparation because we know we're eating excellent food. So I love getting my hands in it. When I roast vegetables, I like to do it all with my hands. So we're going to be putting a healthy amount of cucumber at the bottom of this. We'll go ahead and use the whole amount there. And that's going to marinate really nicely in this dressing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add our chopped red onions. Red onions are one of the things that we can kind of get from all of the colors that we're looking at here is that all these colorful foods contain antioxidants that are really supportive of our health. An antioxidant is essentially it's a substance within a plant or within animal foods that can help prevent free radical damage to our cells. And free radical damage is going to be similar to like you would see rust on a gate, an iron gate. So all of these different foods that contain antioxidants are going to help prevent breakdown of the cell and really help keep ourselves strong and healthy and have anti-inflammation benefits as well. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and put the red onion in there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add some shredded carrots. We know carrots are good for our eyesight. They have lots of vitamin A in there. So they're always good. Plus, you know, it's pretty. It adds a nice color. You get a nice color variation to it. And I am one who likes to eat very colorful foods. And it reminds me again that I'm eating as healthy as I possibly can. That's an important thing to me. Cherry tomatoes, we cut these in half. And we're going to put these in on top of the carrots. So again, as these sit in the refrigerator, that dressing is going to absorb a little bit into some of this produce that's going to really make it flavorful and give it like a marinade type thing. So we're going to do that. Okay, got the tomatoes in there. Our next layer would be if you're adding beans or peas or that kind of thing to your salad. And what we're going to add today are garbanzo beans or chickpeas. And these are really a powerhouse as far as I'm concerned. They're really high protein. So they're great for vegetarians or vegans who choose not to eat animal products. They're a great adjunct to any kind of a salad. You can, put these on. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a nice healthy amount of chickpeas in here. Lots of good fiber in the chickpeas. Okay, next, the next layer is going to be some hard cooked egg. So we're going to add a little extra protein in here. So we're getting some plant protein. We're also getting some animal protein. Now, eggs are, I just kind of want to throw this out here. Eggs have been vilified and admired throughout time. You know, we read we shouldn't eat them because of cholesterol, and then we read it's okay to eat them. And I'm on the okay to eat them camp. In fact, I think that they're absolutely necessary for people who don't have allergies to eggs, and people who enjoy eating some animal products. You really can't beat this, because the whites of the eggs contains all the different proteins that our body needs for, as you know, building blocks of connective tissue, keeping our bones intact, so on and so forth. So, and the yolk is really home to a variety of fat-soluble nutrients and antioxidants. And the reason eggs have cholesterol in that yolk is because it's really important for cholesterol when we are having these fat-soluble nutrients and the antioxidants. The cholesterol is actually a carrier for these fat-soluble nutrients, so they help get them into the from the liver into the cell. So I think it's absolutely crucial that we eat these. You know, if you're watching your cholesterol and so on and so forth, you'll maybe want to talk to your doctor about it. But honestly, I eat probably close to a dozen eggs a week, and it's a great source of protein for me if I choose not to eat meat protein. So I add it to a lot of different salads. Or the other thing that I do is just, you know, hard cook, boil up some eggs, leave them in the fridge, because it's a nice quick snack you can grab, and you're satisfied. So we're gonna add our eggs in here. I'm not a neat cook, but cooking doesn't involve neatness, does it? Okay, so we've got that. Then after that, we're gonna add, we're going to put our baby spinach in. You want the lettuce toward the top of the jar, because what you don't want is the 4-day-old salad and your soggy lettuce. So we're going to put the lettuce at the top of the jar. You can use a variety of greens. I think, thank you. Like I said, I make a mess. You can use a variety of greens in your salads. You know, I like the baby spinach. The baby spinach is just like regular spinach, except that it's harvested early. So it's harvested between, I believe about 30 days is when they'll harvest the baby greens. But you've got in greens themselves, you're going to have chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is like a detoxifying substance for the body. You're going to have lots of different antioxidants, again, that are going to support things like heart health, circulatory health, so on and so forth. So I chose the baby spinach for this one. I thought I'd go ahead and do that. So we're going to stuff this in here. And again, depending upon how many greens you actually like in your salad, some people, you know, go for lots of greens and a small amount of additives, or lots of additives and a small amount of greens. That you can determine how much you want to put in your jar and what you can accomplish by doing this. And you know, it's going to take a little bit of experimenting, but that's what's cool about this, is that you can experiment, and you can't really go wrong as long as you put your dressing on the bottom and your greens are going on the top. I think it's going to be a good one. It's going to be great. And there's lots of different recipes you can look at online. I tend to be, for my salads at home, I tend to be in olive oil and balsamic vinegar. The deal on balsamic vinegar is luscious. And so that's generally what I will use on my salads. But every once in a while, I like to mix it up a little bit, or if we have company, do something a little different. So that's when one of these would come in really handy. So we're going to add some sunflower seeds to this. You know, nuts and seeds have great oils. They have great fiber. They've got lots and lots of trace minerals in them. So that's where we chose this. I found out as I looked into sunflower seeds, because I love them, that sunflowers are grown differently for seeds than they are for the oil, which I did not know that. So your sunflower seeds that you get are probably not the same ones that you're growing in your yard, but they might be. So we're going to put the sunflower seeds on top. They'll stay crunchy. And the last thing we're going to end up putting in here is some goat cheese. And I like the goat cheese, particularly it's a little bit easier to digest for some people than cow's cheese might be. The cool thing about cheeses like this is they're cultured and they can help support the microbiome, the good bacteria. And if you heard the gentleman speak before we started here at this point, and he was talking about probiotics and prebiotics and so on and so forth, that's one of the things that cultured dairy products can do for us, is really kind of support the microbiome. So, and then it's, you know, like I said, for some people, it's much easier to digest. So we're going to put that on top. And I'm going to put as much of this as I can squeeze in. I am a goat cheese lover. I can put goat cheese on just about anything. One of the things that I do like to do, even for a snack sometimes, is I take little, very thin rice crackers and I spread some goat cheese on them and then put a little smoked salmon on it. Good stuff. All right, there we go. So this is our first salad. Tighten that thing up and we're good to go. And it's, you know, it's great. I mean, it's nice to look at. Gives me something to look forward to it at lunchtime. And, you know, again, what you want to do is there's a couple of things you can do before you actually serve it to yourself. Maybe a few minutes before, you can flip it over, and then the dressing will, you know, drop down and coat. Ideally, you're going to want a bowl to put these in, because eating it out of the jar is probably not going to work. But it's all prepared for you. You won't have anything to do in the morning before you leave for work. You grab it and you're on your way. So there's our first one. Okay, we'll leave that right here. Then our next one that we're going to do is, this is the Southwest salad. And this is the one I did last night and found that we had 2 servings per jar, which turned out great. My husband really liked it. Again, I'm not the culinary person, so I kind of actually misread the recipe a little bit when I was putting together the dressing, and I added too much dill. So what I did, I'm an expert at going online and figuring out how to remedy a problem. And so the recipe calls for a half a teaspoon of dried dill, and I put a teaspoon in. So I had to figure out, I added a little bit more acidity to it and got it to the point where it was really tasty. It was really good. Okay, so we're going to start with the dressing here. And this has got a half a cup of plain Greek yogurt. And again, the yogurt, just similar to the goat cheese, the yogurt is going to offer some probiotic activity. It's going to, you know, help nourish the microbiome, and you want it cultured. You want to get yourself a quality Greek yogurt with nothing added to it. You want it plain. You don't want anything added to it. So I prefer, when I cook, I prefer a full fat yogurt because I like the fat soluble nutrients in there. So this is a little bit thicker. This is a little bit thicker and a little bit creamier as far as the dressing goes. And this looks absolutely luscious. I could take a spoonful and do it. Oh, smells amazing. Good stuff. So we're going to put a nice portion of this at the bottom. And again, it's a little bit thicker. It's going to coat a little bit better. And there we go. All right. Yeah. Okay, so there's our dressing. What we're going to add to this is we're going to add, well, let's go through quickly what's in the dressing. We've got garlic powder and we've got onion powder. I use garlic powder all the time. It's a staple seasoning at my house. You've got the fresh lemon juice in here. That's going to add a little bit of your acid to it. You can use apple cider vinegar instead, should you prefer to do that. The dried dill, don't add too much. And a little bit of salt. When I made this last night, I added the 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then I added another dash, and that's all I needed for that. And instead of the chipotle powder, what I had on hand was the chipotle hot sauce. So I started with a 1/4 teaspoon, and I added, just a little tiny bit after that to bring it out a little bit more. And then you kind of water it down a little bit and make it a little bit thinner with the water. Okay, so lost myself here. Okay, chopped tomato. So we've got the same as we did the last time. The tomato's going to really coat nicely in there. It just really marinated well. I really enjoyed the flavor of the tomatoes in there. I'm not a huge tomato person as far as flavor goes. Frankly, I can kind of take them or leave them. But in this recipe that I did last night, it's great. Okay, so there's our tomato. We've got red onion again, some more red onion. Onion and garlic, as well as asparagus that we're going to be using in our next recipe. These are also considered prebiotics. So as you heard in the last presentation, that prebiotics are food for probiotics. So it's kind of like your probiotics are the vehicle and your prebiotics are the fuel. And so there's several food sources of prebiotics. Garlic and onions are some. The asparagus is going to be another one that actually help nourish the probiotics. So have at it and eat those liberally because you're doing good things for your gut there. So we're going to put all of this in here. Then what we've got is we've got the chopped peppers. Okay, you can use any colors you want with the peppers. I prefer red, yellow, and orange just because I prefer the flavors. Plus, I love the colors. These colors are representative of the fat-soluble nutrients that are in here, such as vitamin A. These are antioxidants. So again, they're going to be providing, healthy vitamins and minerals and so forth to, support cardiac health, support the immune system, so on and so forth. And all of these things, I think, I don't want to nutritionalize food, but I think it's important that we do understand what kind of nutrients that we're getting. And we know that keeping our immune system supported is an important thing. So we're going to go ahead and put the peppers in here. Add some beautiful color. Okay, next we're going to, and again, all that's going to be kind of marinating as that dressing comes up there. So after that, we're going to add some black beans and corn. That's going to be our next layer. Black beans, excellent fiber that we're getting from beans, lots and lots of minerals, vitamins, and so forth. But fiber is an excellent, with all of these, we want to make sure we're getting plenty of fiber. And we're getting some fiber in the greens and the other ingredients too. But when you put the beans in there or legumes, you're going to be getting a little extra fiber kick, so that, our gut's going to be taken care of well. So plus you're getting extra protein. And when you're combining proteins, especially plant proteins, then you know that you can get some complete proteins that the body can use. Okay, so we're got our black beans in there. We're gonna add corn. Corn is, I love that corn season is coming in and that we're gonna have plenty of corn on the cob because I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things to kind of munch on during the warmer months, if we ever get there. But the yellow color is telling us the beta carotene's in there. We got good fiber in here, lots of good vitamins and minerals. So that's going to complement the beans that we have before that. And then what we're going to do with this one is we're going to actually add some chicken, chopped chicken. So that, and this one would be, I had a little bit of chicken last night to add to it. But I probably wouldn't have added too much anyway, since we were using it more as a side salad. But if I were using this as a lunch salad, I'd want to make sure that I put plenty of that chicken in there to make sure that we have some good protein. It's important to use, chicken that's never had any antibiotics added to it. When I teach my classes, one of the things that I stress to the students, it's kind of my mantra, is that we are what we eat eats. So we've all heard of we are what we eat, but taking it one step further, because what the animals eat whose products we are consuming helps determine not only their health, but our health. So, and the same goes with produce, is that the cleaner the soil, so ideally organic produce, you're going to get more minerals through the soil that way. So we are what we eat. So we want to make sure that the food that we're eating is healthy and wholesome, and making sure that our poultry doesn't have any antibiotics added to it is important. All right. I might have put a little bit too much chicken in there. Let me take a little bit out so we have plenty of room. So then we're going to put cheese in. And then lastly, we're going to put our romaine in. I'm going to stuff that down a little bit. Let's put some cheese. You can use any kind of cheese that you want. Cheddar cheese, I like sharp cheddars, especially if I'm doing anything that's kind of Southwestern. I think it adds that tang there. It's excellent. And then what we've got here, smash that down a little bit. And then we've got romaine. Romaine is one of the richest greens in terms of the vitamins that you're getting in there. Vitamin A, again, really rich in chlorophyll. All that green stuff is really good for you. It keeps a nice crunch. It doesn't get, as soggy as some other lettuces can. So we're gonna stuff that in there like that. We've got our Southwestern jar. And I have another one of these at home, since I made 2 last night, that we're going to be splitting again tonight. And I'm looking forward to it. There we go. Yum. That's a good one. All right. And then our third one that we're going to do, that over there. Going to make more of a mess, so we're just going to keep the mess here. And the third one I'm going to do is the Asian salad. Now this one's going to be a little bit different. This is using peanut butter in the dressing. And I whipped this dressing up at home because I've never made a dressing with peanut butter, but peanut butter is a staple for me. I eat it almost every day. I make sure it's organic, and I love it. One of the things about it is the good fats in there. They're monounsaturated fats, similar to what you get in olive oil. And the fat plus then combined with a high protein satisfies me and keeps me going. And in fact, I had some this morning before I left. I had DLM sourdough toast, which is my very, very favorite. I always keep an extra loaf in the freezer because I absolutely love this. And if I need a treat, kind of before I go to bed or something, it's a piece of sourdough toast with a little bit of peanut butter on it. Absolutely love it. And then I also had a Garden of Life protein shake that I'm going to show you before we're done here. So our final one here, we've got our, this you want to make sure that you do shake this up really well before you actually make it. These little jars, they're very good. So we're going to go ahead and just pour this in. The peanut butter whips up really well. Obviously, you're going to want to get a smooth peanut butter for this. I'm not sure about a chunky peanut butter. But so we're going to go ahead and put that all in there. We got a lot of ingredients that we want to keep moist here. So, okay. So we've got, you got a little bit of soy sauce in here. I prefer Bragg's aminos simply because they are non-GMO is one of it, and I know it's a healthy, pure product. You can use honey or maple syrup. I use maple syrup for mine because I had it on hand. And a little bit of vinegar or lemon juice. I use the lemon juice. and then you add the water, and I just used the ginger powder, and it came out nice, and it had that rich ginger flavor. So I was pleased with that one. So we put the dressing in here. We've got more chopped cucumber here. We talked about the hydration for cucumber. We want to make sure and it marinates so nicely in there. Okay, then we're going to do the chopped asparagus. Now this is, you can blanch your asparagus if you want to for a minute or two, but I like to use it raw when I use it in salads. But this is an excellent prebiotic, and it's got some really, really good soluble fiber. So have at it in salads, absolutely. And if you like to cook it, I like to roast mine with some Parmigiano Reggiano and a little bit of garlic powder and so forth, and it's crunchy and delicious that way. But this is excellent. This is a really nice way to get that fiber and that prebiotic in there. Okay, then we're going to add our chopped red pepper. A little bit more of this. Since I've got some big ingredients here, I think I'm only going to add just a little bit of the pepper. And then we have our scallions, which are, of course, part of the onion family. And these all have a good dose of sulfur that's, as well as some healthy minerals and so on and so forth, adds that wonderful flavor. Anything from onion to garlic to scallions, whatever it is, they're delicious. All right. And all of these, again, are going to marinate in that dressing. They're going to sink down a little bit. And then we've got some purple cabbage. The purple color, beautiful purple color, great antioxidants that they have, a lot of trace minerals, good fiber. One of the things that I've done with red cabbage that, I haven't done that in a long time, but I do it a lot in the colder months, is I'll just slice it and lay it on a baking sheet, add a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper to it and roast it. Good. It's really good. Okay. Then our next layer is going to be the layer that we put our beans in. Oh, I think I forgot the broccoli. Cucumber, asparagus, red pepper, chopped scallions. No, broccoli comes next. Okay. So we want to keep these things crunchy. So we're going to use the edamame beans. These are kind of like the not quite mature soybeans. And these are used quite a lot in Asian cultures. High protein, lots of good vitamins and minerals and that kind of thing. So we're going to put these in there. Great fiber. The chopped snow peas. Delicious. I'm glad that the weather's changing a little bit and we can be adding these to our salads. And although every once in a while we do a carry out with Asian food, and the snow peas are great, especially when they put those lobster sauce on it. Oh, yum. Okay, and then we're going to put our broccoli on here. Now, generally, I like to cook broccoli. I don't eat a lot of raw broccoli. You can also blanch this if you want, but I would just do it for just to not, maybe a minute. But every once in a while in a salad, I do like to put the broccoli in there. And of course, it's a staple in Asian food. We see it a lot. It's part of the cruciferous vegetables. It's got great fiber, all those vitamins and minerals in it, lots of fat-soluble nutrients, lots of antioxidants. So we've got that. All right, I'm going to push that down a little bit. And we're going to add our sliced mushrooms. Mushrooms are great. They have a lot of antioxidants and phytonutrients that are cancer fighters. That's one of the big things about mushrooms, is they're cancer fighters. And one of the things that you can do is you can take mushrooms, fresh mushrooms, and you can actually dry them outside in the nicer weather, turn them belly up, and they absorb the sunlight and they can help create vitamin D3. So it's a decent food source of vitamin D3. Okay, then we're going to add our romaine, and we've got cashews in here, and peanuts. You can add a little bit of both. Probably should have watched that as I was putting in all those other ingredients, but I just get carried away because they're so delicious and it's so beautiful. And I'm going to stuff that down in there. Nice thing about romaine. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to top it with cashews, which are a tree nut. So you do have to be careful with that if you've got any allergies. Excellent protein sources, great fiber. There's also in cashews themselves, there's a fair amount of carotenes in here, beta carotenes related to vitamin A, just like you find in carrots and a lot of these other green vegetables. And then we're going to have some peanuts on here. So we're going to put both on top and they'll stay nice and crunchy for when you do your salads. So, all right, there we go. There's our Asian salad. Yum, looks great. I do say so myself. All right. So what we're going to do now, how much time do we have? Are we good? Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to, and one of the things, let me say here, as you can tell, is that we can use a lot of these ingredients for many different salads. And if you go online and you check this out, you'll find that there are a number of salads that you can put together with just a small amount of ingredients, but changing the dressing around, you'll find that you're creating a different masterpiece every time. So enjoy them because I know that I'm going to be doing this a lot in the warmer weather here. So I'm going to wipe this up real quick here since I made a mess. And we are going to talk briefly about, that was lunch. So now we're going to talk a little bit about breakfast. What we have here is we have Garden of Life proteins that are available in our healthy living department. And they use plant-based proteins. And they've got a variety of different types of proteins, variety of flavors. And I just want to highlight some of this to you because, and I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this so I can see. If you picked up a goodie bag, what you got in your goodie bag is you got a shaker cup. And all of these shake up really nicely. You don't need a blender for them. If you want to add some more ingredients and make a more complex smoothie, have at it. You can do that. But what I like about them is just the convenience of being able to put a scoop in the cup, add the water to it, and shake it up, and good to go. And I have found that a couple of things, I used to use whey protein. And for me personally, as I got older, I didn't tolerate whey protein. And I used it for years and years and years. It was, again, a breakfast staple. I like breakfast that, especially when I'm on the go, I want something that I know is going to stick with me. I don't want to eat something very quickly, something small, something sweet, and know that in an hour and a half, I'm going to be hungry again and I'm going to need a decent meal. So, and like I said, my breakfast this morning was the toasted sourdough bread with a really nice amount of peanut butter on it and the raw organic protein. So I really enjoy it. And I would encourage you to give it a try because it's quick and easy. And you're getting a really nice amount of a complete protein and what Garden of Life does is combine the different plant proteins so that the body gets all the proteins that it needs. This one is the raw organic protein. This is a vanilla flavor. One of the things that I've done with this is I've actually taken like berries, like raspberries or blackberries, and put them in a bowl and kind of mush them up. Just make them so that they're kind of like a puree type thing. And it doesn't take very long to do it. And I don't need a blender for it. Just kind of mush it up. And I put it in the shaker bottle with the protein, with the vanilla protein, and shake it up really well and let it sit for a minute and then shake it up again. and drink it that way. And it's just really sweet without added sugar, and you're getting your fruit as well. You're getting some good fiber and that kind of thing in there. So this is the raw organic. This is the vanilla. In a serving size, which is 1 scoop, you're getting 22 grams of protein. Now, for women, you're looking at about 48 to 50 grams of protein. For men, you're going to be looking at somewhere between 55 grams of protein, but that also depends upon how active you are, because the more active you are, the more protein needs that your body has. So you're getting a really good, solid amount of protein for a meal. And it has, this one here has organic sprouts in it too. So you're looking at things like, you know, buckwheat sprouts and amaranth sprouts. Amaranth is a great protein-rich grain, but these are, being that these are sprouted, they're going to act a little bit differently on the digestive tract than a grain will. They're going to act a little bit more like a vegetable. So they're going to make it easily digested. So, and then they put the raw probiotics in here so that you're getting some of the good gut bacteria, as well as enzymes that are going to help with all the digestion. So they're really wholesome meals. It's not just a protein powder. And this one here has the greens with it. So you're looking at 20 grams of protein for a serving size in this one. And you're getting most of these, the primary protein source is going to be pea protein. And so you're getting the pea protein in here, but that you're also getting some sprouted, you know, lentils, legumes, that kind of thing, as well as some of the greens. So you've got organic broccoli, and you've got some grass juices and so on and so forth. So this is going to give you a little bit more of your greens: spinach, kale, broccoli, alfalfa, grass juice. So you're getting your greens in that one. And then this one here is grain-free. They call this smooth. So this actually probably whips up a little bit smoother as a protein powder than these do. But there's less protein in it per scoop. So this is 15 grams of protein, which still, if you're adding in addition to your meal, say you're grabbing that piece of sourdough toast, but you're also grabbing a hard-boiled egg, this would be perfect for that. This one here is unflavored, so you can add this to different meals that you're cooking with, for, you know, to enhance the protein. So again, you've got the complete protein in here, unflavored, unsweetened there, so it's going to be good for cooking. And you've got live probiotics and enzymes in there also. This is another product that you can add into chia seeds, and you've probably heard of them. These are excellent for you know, a little bit of added protein, fiber. They're high, as far as a plant food goes, they're high in omega-3 fatty acids, which we know are really important for the heart and the brain and so on and so forth. The thing about these is you can put them in the shake. You can shake them up in the shake, and you know, you're going to swallow them very easily. And the other thing that you can do with these is sprinkle them on salads. So you know, you can you know, put them on salads. You can sprinkle them on top of vegetables, whatever your, you know, whatever your tastes are. So these are great to, I believe the serving size is a tablespoon, and these are great to experiment with. You can just try them and see what you think. So looking at all of this together, you've got your nourishing breakfast that's going to give you protein to start the day. A few hours later, you're going to have your nourishing lunch that's going to give you, you know, protein and fiber and vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, and plus a lot of satisfaction. We have to love our food. So, and then, you know, you add your home cooked meal in the evening, and you're good to go. Going to have some really healthy food there.
Thank you so much, Lori. We do have one question. Is there any snacks that you recommend?
Snacks that I recommend. Well, depending upon what kind of snacks you're talking about. I mean, you can actually, if you like sweet snacks, you can look online and get some recipes for, say, brownies that you might use avocado with an almond butter and those kinds of things, rather than almond flour or coconut flour instead of your refined pastry flours. So that's an option. For me personally, I generally go for, I think I mentioned early on, the little smoked salmon with the goat cheese and crackers. And I'm not out working every day. I'm home most days, so it's a little bit more convenient. But also the hard cooked eggs, I think, are an excellent snack source. And what you want snacks to do is you want them to taste good, but then at the same time, you want them nourishing, because what you don't want to happen is a half hour later wanting another snack, so that the more sugar we eat, sugar goes up, blood sugar drops, and then we need more. So I would, really suggest that if you're looking at snacks, looking at something like peanut butter and almond butter, celery and those kinds of things. That's what I would recommend for snacks.
Thank you so much, Lori. That was wonderful. I can't wait to try these recipes out. It is just so perfectly timed with our fresh growing season. So I am looking forward to getting those together in my kitchen. I do have one more question from one of our viewers. They were wondering if you would recommend one of these protein shakes leading into maybe a workout or afterwards for recovery.
Absolutely. And what I would do if it was going to be something like that is I would probably look at the raw organic protein that had some of the sprouted grains in it, because you're going to be covering all of your bases with that. But absolutely, you can use it pre-workout, you can use it post-workout, and you're replenishing your body with the proteins that it needs. Absolutely. Yep. Good products.
Fantastic. Lori Kelch, thank you so very much
You're very
for all
welcome.
of these wonderful
This is fun.
recipes.